Hey guys, it's a beautiful day. We're in Margaret Piggott Park and I noticed a couple stand-up paddle boarders. Just a beautiful day to go riding, and we're checking out the Tern HSD. That stands for Haul Stuff Daily. I've reviewed the GSD before, which stands for Get Stuff Done, and that's a heavy-duty mid-tail cargo bike. It looks very similar at first glance. That one can actually carry 200 kilograms, close to like 400 pounds, whereas this one's like 170, so 370-ish pounds. Really only room for one child seat on the back instead of two, and one petite adult or child on the back. They have this cool captain's chair, all these awesome bags and baskets. Tern set this up for me with a little box at the middle there for storing like a lock, an extra tire, and some gear, maybe even the charger if you wanted. And they've got a pannier bag on the side. I took one off on this side so we could look at the internally geared hub. They also included this front rack. So as you see it here, it's a little bit more expensive. The default price would be $37.99 if you got the S8i model. And there are 3 different SKUs of the HSD, so I'll get into that in a second. But it's a really cool little bike, and one of the other big differences between the GSD is that it has a suspension fork right there, and the tires are a little bit narrower. So for me, I really care about comfort. I'm loving these ergonomic grips, really comfortable saddle. It's HSD branded, but it's actually a Velo saddle. And then that fork, just being able to compression adjust, preload adjust, which means you can like preload the spring for a heavier rider or maybe some cargo up front so you're not bobbing and bouncing around as much. It's a really nice setup, and still these 2.15-inch tires, they're still wider than normal tires. They provide some puncture protection and reflective sidewall stripes to keep you safe. This bike has integrated lights, really nice headlight that's up high. And that's important because the bike itself is lower. These are 20-inch wheels. It makes it a lot more approachable to put cargo on, the front, the back, step over the frame right there. It's almost like a low step frame, but I call it sort of a mid step just because of the way it's got the 2 tubes there and everything. It's very approachable. It's very stowable because you can flip it up on the rear end, and it sits on these 4 points back here. And you can see I've been doing this in the grass, and it's actually worked out very well. The handlebar folds down to the side and swivels around and kind of sits next to the frame. So you could put this in an elevator, you could put it in your closet, maybe even your office, and just keep it out of the elements, which is great. And if you had to park it outside, it does have a very accessible Bosch PowerPack 400 right there at the middle of the frame, keeping weight low and centered right where you want it. Very well protected by the frame and the rack. It's a really cool bike. I was reading some of the other reviews and reports on this thing, and I think my friend Pete over at Electric Bike Report had said like category defining. I mean, this is really a great bike because Tern has taken all of their heritage as like a folding bicycle company and then eventually folding electric bikes, and they really did a great job with that, and they continue to do a great job with like the Vectron and stuff. And they put it together and really thought about, well, folding bikes, you kind of compromise the frame a little bit because you put that joint in the middle. Not everyone really needs to fold them. Sometimes you're just a smaller person who wants an approachable bike, or maybe you occasionally need to fold it, but does it really need to get that small? Being able to put the bike up on its end, it really changes the game. And I just think they've done a great job with this thing. This is a more premium offering. There are other like lightweight utility, compact electric bikes. I've reviewed tons of them back at Electric Bike Review, but Tern stands out in terms of like just the quality. I mean, look at this. You can see the reflective graphic right here. So reflective sidewalls, reflective graphics, integrated lights, the headlight up high since the bike is kind of lower to the ground, integrated rear light with 2 LEDs. Now it is tucked in a little bit, and that's going to help protect it when you flip the bike up. It's going to be protected from like a trunk bag or child seat or whatever you've got on the back. But coming back to safety, I call this out occasionally. I've got this Abus helmet. The company gave me this a while back, and it feels comfortable. I like it. But it also has this like light built in, which is pretty handy, right? You know, if you're riding, my head is going to be way up high. I want people to see me. So I think it's a perfect fit for a bike like this. Now, there are a couple things you could do to improve comfort if you really wanted to. The suspension fork is nice, but the tires, they're like 30 to 55 PSI. You could lower that tire pressure, and that's going to take away some of the vibration. It's not going to be quite as efficient, so your range may suffer. The ergonomic grips are nice and everything. The Andros stem, this is proprietary for Tern. See how it connects in 2 spots? It's very sturdy, but you don't have to have a tool to adjust it. So you can kind of pivot it up or forward. Upright is going to give you more of an upright body position, more relaxed shoulders, back, and neck, and I appreciate that. Or if you're a taller rider, check out that seat tube angle. It's pretty aggressive backwards. So as you raise that seat post, and there are kind of 2 of them, they're telescoping, so 34.9 and 30.9. As you raise them, it not only goes up, but back. So you get that improved reach for a taller rider. Tern says this can accommodate riders who are 4'11 to 6'5. So it's a very capable setup. But you could actually replace that top post with a suspension seat post, 30.9 millimeters. So, you know, there's stud buster, body float, connect, all kinds of different options, and you'd have like kind of a full suspension feel, which is nice because these smaller tires and wheels, they create this like higher attack angle. So instead of smoothing over potholes and going over bumps and just having more air volume, you kind of run into stuff a little bit more. It's not quite as comfortable. Thankfully, you've got standard 170 millimeter crank arms. These are just traditional platform pedals that have this anti-slip rubberized grip, so you're not going to scrape your shins. And hopefully, because of these awesome plastic fenders from SKS, you're not going to get too wet while you're riding. But if you're, let's say you're folding that handlebar, and instead of stowing it upright, you want to put it on its side and like put it under your RV or maybe in a closet or somewhere else, these pedals, they do stick out. So you could unscrew those, or you could get yourself some folding platform pedals. Wellgo sells some aluminum alloy ones. That would be great. They're going to offer the same sort of stiffness as these ones, which is back to comfort and everyday riding. I like these pedals. They're fine, but they are going to stick out and maybe gouge your trunk or whatever if you lay the bike on the side. So back to the fenders. They've got this rubberized flap at the bottom, so if you kick them, they're not going to get damaged quite as easily. Look how they connect to that custom suspension fork directly to it. It's not like a cuff that could slide around and you know, then the fender starts to rub and gets pumped out of position. I like that they've actually got a 15 millimeter through axle up front, so this is not just a 9 millimeter skewer. It's extra sturdy. And then in the rear, same thing. The fender is attached in 3 different spots. It's not going to rattle around hardly at all. I mean, I really haven't felt that at all. It's just a great setup. It's going to keep you and your cargo dry. And if you want, one of the options they sell are these screens that kind of protect your legs or your cargo from touching that or getting close. But I personally feel like there's plenty of clearance back here. So one of the little extras that Tern has gone with here is ABIS core and lock set. So the battery locks to the frame using the same key as they used for this cafe lock, the ABIS Shield 5650. So this thing, it just basically makes the bike immobile. You just pull down on this lever, lock it, pull it out. One of my complaints about the bike is that you actually have to leave the keys in this thing, or you have to lock that frame lock in order to pull them out. So I'm riding around today and these are jingling a little bit, and imagine I had like my full keychain connected to this thing. It's just a little bit close to the fenders, a little bit close to the wheels, and it's a bit of a bother. I would like it if I could pull the key out and not have to leave it in, but this is an incentive to lock it every time you stop. Someone could still come and pick this thing up and run away with it, but for a quick stop at the cafe, you know, unlikely. Again, the bike weighs about 56 pounds if we didn't have the extra racks and stuff on it. As shown here, I weighed it at about 64 pounds. And compared to the GSD naked, that bike's like 70 pounds, maybe 71. So this is significantly lighter. It's also not as long. It's 68.5 inches versus 72.5 on the GSD and about 72 on traditional bikes and e-bikes that I've reviewed. So it really does a lot and fits into a nice space and everything. Comfort for me is the thing I kind of keep coming back to and really want to optimize that. So I love that they gave you that suspension fork. You've got bottle cage bosses here. These could be used for a folding lock as well. Just kind of nice. You can position it wherever you want. This little rubber thing is to help secure the kind of the steering stem, so that if you fold it to the side, it won't be rattling around and maybe chipping the paint or creating noise. This display panel appears fairly compact. Do keep an eye on it, because when you fold it, it could still get scratched and stuff, but I think that's maybe why they chose this instead of one of the bigger Bosch Intuvia, or maybe even the kiosks, and partially because they've got this light here. Love that they've got a bell. It's a really nice setup. So we'll come back to that in a second. And I was talking to the guys at Tern. They said, yeah, the 2 bolts right here where you mount that kickstand, those can be used to add a trailer hitch, like a Weber trailer hitch. Apparently that's very popular in Europe. So I wanted to figure out where that happens, and it's right there. The other star of the show here with the S8i is this Gates carbon belt drive. Check this thing out, right? Very clean, quiet, longer lasting than chains, according to a lot of the shops I've spoken with. It does a great job. 63 tooth belt ring up front with an aluminum alloy guard. So if you've got pants on or a dress, it's not going to touch that belt and get you kind of messy and greasy. There is still a little bit of, you know, dust and stuff that could accumulate on this. 22 tooth sprocket at the rear, and then that Shimano Nexus internally geared hub, 8 speeds, shiftable at standstill. So let's say you're climbing a hill, and there are plenty here in Vancouver, and you stop and you're like, oh, I forgot to shift down. Well, you can do that pretty easily, just like that. And then when you start again, it might take a second to kind of engage, but it's a lot easier to use and just more protected, more durable than a derailleur and cassette. Now, I actually really like derailleurs and cassettes because they're so quick and just crisp. I don't mind getting my hands dirty with a chain a little bit. I feel comfortable adjusting the barrel adjusters with a derailleur and keeping it from getting misaligned. So that would probably be my choice, and I'd save a bit of money. So they have a version of the HSD called the P9, and it's a 9-speed. I think it has Shimano Alivio derailleur, 11 to 32 tooth. Plenty of, you know, range for pedaling. I think it's going to be somewhat similar to this, but you're going to have that derailleur hanging down. And actually, apparently that bike is heavier than this one. So I think maybe it's just the chain ring and the chain, and then the cassette and the derailleur ends up weighing more than the Shimano Nexus Inter 8, which really surprised me. But yeah, this is really clean. Love that they got the black spokes, and it matches these Atlas 35mm rims. Everything is very clean. And then the shifting is just very intuitive. They've got that clear plastic window, so you've got some idea of like, oh, I'm in gear 4, I want to go to a lower gear. Well, I guess I would turn it this way, go to 3, and want to go to a higher gear, pull back, almost like a throttle or something, like you're twisting back and it's going to help you go faster, but the gear is going to get harder. For a lot of riders, that might be the most intuitive experience. I like the trigger shifters and stuff. Okay, so this bike, $37.99 without the accessories. The one with the derailleur, $31.99. They have another option called the S Plus, and that one's $51.99. Way more expensive. So you're like, why? Why is that one more expensive? Well, it also has the Gates carbon belt drive, but instead of having a Shimano Nexus, it has an Enviolo. It's like an internally geared hub, except there are no geared steps. It's a continuously variable transmission. So there's like this pivot that goes like this when you change gears. It does weigh more. That bike's like a couple more pounds than these ones. And that's because there's like this traction fluid inside. It's a very cool system. And it even has like automatic shifting. So you basically just set it up at the display and you say, I want to have this cadence where I'm like pedaling at this set speed. It feels comfortable. And then as you come to a hill and you start to slow down because you're climbing, well, the system automatically shifts down, and so your cadence doesn't change. It feels like you're just kind of doing the same thing, but now you're climbing. Your speed will change, your bike speed, because it's slowing down in a lower gear, but you don't have to worry about shifting at all. I think that's neat. I like shifting gears sometimes, and so for me, that one's like, I don't know if that would be my first choice. It's a little less efficient in my experience, like the Enviolo, New Vinci systems. They're a little bit slower. However, that bike also comes with a nicer drive system. So what we're looking at here is the Bosch Active Line Plus motor and the Bosch PowerPack 400. If we got the S Plus model, we'd have a Bosch Performance Line motor. Okay, the difference being 50 Newton meters of torque versus 65, 105 RPM matching versus 120, which means you can pedal a lot faster on that bike and the motor will still support you. It won't like reach a limit and be like, Ree! That motor's just it's more performant versus just sort of active casual riding. Now this is the Active Line Plus, so it does have more torque than just the standard Active Line. It's a very quiet motor. It's very efficient, fairly lightweight, about 7 pounds. The battery is about 5.5 pounds back here, the PowerPack, versus roughly 6.3 with the PowerPack 500. Now that interface, it works for either battery. So let's say you already have a Bosch battery, or maybe you buy an extra one to throw in the bag, or you just want more range and straight away you just buy the 500. It will work with this same frame. So if it was up to me, I'd be getting like the derailleur cassette plus the performance line motor and the PowerPack 500. But you know, I guess I don't mind saving a couple $1,000s with just getting the P9, and that's just how I ride. For other people, having that really reliable, clean drive system that automatically shifts, I mean, it's super fancy, it's nice, and you get the extra power to overcome some of the efficiency and the extra weight. So, you know, good stuff. All of these Bosch motors measure your pedal cadence, pedal torque, and rear wheel speed. So they're very, I mean, it measures those things like 1,000 times per second, and they even have shift detection. So if you get the P9 with the derailleur, it has shift detection. These other ones, I guess they don't need it, or Bosch doesn't really offer it because the shifting's slightly different. It's just exciting. I mean, these bikes are really, they're really cool. They offer a lot of value, I think, if you were gonna actually replace your car. Some other things I want to point out though is this headlight kind of get blocked by these wires, and I noticed that they are not internally routed. A lot of the really fancy bikes, which I would include this in that category, they have internally routed cables. Now Tern doesn't always do that, and I think because sometimes the folding bikes, you can get the cables pinched in a joint, and then they're a lot harder for shops to tune up and adjust. So they're a little bit exposed, but they still look nice. It's still a really clean layout here. I love that that front rack is mounted directly to the frame, so that when you steer, it doesn't get dumped to the side at all. It's not going to impact your steering as much. The bike does kind of tilt to the side when you park, because this only has a single-sided kickstand, whereas like the GSD, that's that upgraded bike that's a little bit heavier that allows 2 child seats, that one has a center mounted kickstand with 2 legs that splay out, and it really just positions the bike like perfectly centered, a lot easier to load it up, and again, it's not going to tip to the side. I'm just guessing, but it appears that there's a mounting point if you wanted to get one of those kickstands, maybe add it yourself after the fact. I can't say for sure. And then again, this box costs extra. They got the panniers, they got this captain's chair in the back that's really cool, and they've got this front rack and a front basket and another connector up front so you could get the quick release basket. Tern is really known for their accessories. Coming back to price point, you're just going to spend more money. So you got the base price of the bike, and then it's, you know, I guess you don't have to get it all at once, but you can end up spending a bit to really load this thing up. So I'm going to show you the charger real quick, because that was another highlight for me with the S8i. They give you the faster 4 amp Bosch charger. If you get the P9, you only get the 2 amp. So, you know, you pay a little bit more, $600, and you get the nicer charger and the internally geared hub back here. It's nice to be able to charge this battery on or off the bike, and the fact that it has this loop handle when you take it off the bike it makes it really easy to carry. Maybe you have to lock your bike outside, even though this stands up straight. You're not allowed to bring it in your apartment or something. You rest assured that the bike itself is highly water resistant. Bosch makes excellent stuff, and the belt and everything is not going to get rusty. And then you take that battery inside and charge it. Try to keep your lithium-ion batteries in a cool, dry location, because extreme heat and extreme cold is kind of hard on them. The heat is actually the worst. Cold is just going to stunt your range. It might even half your range. So if you come out and it's a really cold morning, you hop on your bike, you can't make it to work. That'd be a bummer. I was pedaling this around earlier today without pedal assist, and it did feel pretty good. It was efficient. I was able to maintain my speed, and you know, I probably went a little bit slower than if I had assist, but there's enough range in here with those 8 speeds that it's very capable. Okay, so take this forward into the shade a little bit so you can see this display. I'm going to turn the bike on. We just press this power button. There we go. Comes to life pretty quickly. We've got speed in the top, and that can be changed from kilometers to miles by holding minus and tapping power. So we just did that. I'm change it back. Down at the bottom, we have 5-tick infographic for battery capacity, and that leaves something to be desired. because 20%, maybe you're on that last tick and you're really not sure how full the battery is. Thankfully, there's range readout. So if we hold this minus key, we're going to cycle through some different readouts. And here we are at range. See, it says no range right now. That's because we don't have any assist levels engaged. So the lowest level of assist is eco. Press the plus to get there. Now it says 100 kilometers. I have been riding this for a while, so I think it would get even better range than that. For people maybe in the US and Canada or other places, that's roughly 62 miles. Back at the side, I estimate that this thing could go like 35 to 90 miles. I really think it could be very efficient depending on how you pedal, how much gear and cargo you have. So I was being a little bit generous because the Bosch system is very efficient, especially the Active Line motors. Okay, so I'll switch it back. We're at kilometers. Take it up to Tour, Sport, and Turbo. Turbo is the highest level of assist. That's giving you that 50 Newton meters of torque, 250% support level feedback, and it says 38 kilometers, so it's a lot less. Okay, some of the other readouts here is, if we're holding minus, we get to those assist levels, trip distance, and total distance. Now you'll notice anytime I press plus or minus, it actually changes momentarily to show me that assist level, and then it's gonna go back. So this Bosch Purion system is I think a great choice for a bike like this with the folding bars and just to kind of keep it out of the way, but is not removable. It's got a little micro USB port on the side, but that's actually just for diagnostics. It's not active for charging. So I see this display sometimes and I'm just like, oh, bummer. I wish I could mount my phone and charge it or something. But, you know, Bosch does have an Intuvia and kiosk display, but they usually mount in the center. And with this light and this cool Andros stem, I don't think that would work. Also, the light defaulted to on. You can see a light icon, but if you want, you can turn it off by holding plus. Or here, there's like a physical switch. So right now the headlight's off, but if I press it, now it's on. So that's very cool. And then here's that rear light again with the 2 LEDs. So many e-bikes just have like a single LED rear light. And to me, it's like, well, come on, you know, if you're riding this around, it's just one little LED, and you know, that could be the difference between getting hit by a car or not. And again, whether it's this helmet or another one having a light, or maybe one on your backpack, totally worth considering. So I think that's about it. I've tried to be thorough and really exhaustive here. There's a lot of details about these bikes because I'm trying to cover like all three, and I've got more information back at ElectricBikeReview.com, where you can also see some of the GSDs. Oh, there we go. Let's see what the damage is here. This is what happens when you park on the side of a hill. Nothing here because the grip locked, and really nothing here because we're on grass. So there we go. There's our durability test. Let's get out there and take this thing for a ride. I was riding around the grass a little bit just to see how this thing felt, and I can hear the bags rattling a little bit. Power is not a problem, I think, in part because with the smaller wheels, you get a pretty good mechanical advantage in those lower gears. You're not having to turn this huge wheel. Yeah, again, a little bit bumpy, but very capable is how I would describe it. I am in the highest level of assist right now, and I'm in the lowest gear. So I've got a faster pedal cadence, but one that works well for climbing. See if I can do no hands in the grass. Whoop. A little bit tippier maybe than like a full-size electric bike with larger wheels. There we go. Easy to get up to speed now on the pavement and feeling very stable. Yeah, I mean, just a little bit more tippy and maybe twitchier with some of the steering, but really nice swept-back handlebars, good upright body position, especially with the Andros stem. I'm a 5'9" tall individual, so if you're a really tall person, I think the seat post would get pretty high, but you know, there's not quite as much adjustability on the height of the handlebar. And that's something I do see on other like folding electric bikes. A lot of them will have like this telescoping stem, but it might not be as sturdy feeling as this bike. Like this bike feels very sturdy. I'm not getting a lot of frame flex, and that's important when you're hauling extra cargo, because if the thing feels kind of shifty and then you're getting speed wobble, it's no good. I'm gonna do some shifting here. There we go. And I do have to ease off a little bit after shifting those gears. It didn't just happen immediately. I think the system is designed to sort of protect itself. If there's too much pressure on the drivetrain, it won't shift right away. So keep that in mind. I used to think like, oh, it's like magic. I can just shift whenever and it automatically happens. I think that is the case with the NVOLO, the continuously variable transmission 5100, 5199 model. But this one, you know, it does take a second to kind of engage. I found some level terrain here by these park benches and just flip the bike up on its end and put the handlebar there. You'd use this rubber strap to secure it and kind of bring the seat in a little bit. So you can really save some space doing this, and it's feeling very stable even with a little breeze. So I saw some construction going on over here, and I made friends with Andrew from Ace Integrated Systems. You guys do home automation? And
yeah, we do electrical, home automation, anything wired or wireless in your home or your office, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, he knew totally. He was like, electric bike. Yeah. You were right on it.
Sweet, so. Yeah, I mean, I want to maybe take this thing for a test drive.
Do you want to? Actually, you can.
I'll let you do it first, and then if it all goes well, then I'll take the next ride.
Wait, so he's gonna hold the camera for a minute. I'm just gonna ride by so you guys can see what this looks like. We'll look both ways, because look at this. We got a whole bunch of cool riders out here. Electric bike.
Got the gang.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hop on.
There he goes. Now this is where I run off with his camera. Just kidding.
Yeah, feeling good.
Looks like pretty easy pedaling there you got.
Oh yeah.
What is this, 4-wheel drive too?
Not quite.
Look at these people using their legs like suckers.
Oh my god.
And you got the pedal assist.
Do you want to try it, Andrew?
Sure.
Go for it, man.
Give me a ride. Every pedal push is just automatic, or do you have a little...
There's a little bit of assist right now. I have it set up so you can shift gears just by twisting that, and yeah, just take it around, be safe.
Pedal, it just automatically adds the assist.
It does, yeah, dynamically, super smooth.
Can't be easier than that.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of fun. What a nice guy, huh?
Oh, I can feel this thing just ripped.
Having a blast. This is such a great street. There's like a little cul-de-sac, and oh look, another folding bike. Oh yeah, we got the pedal. We got the puddle hopper. Thank you so much, man. What did you think? Do you have any questions?
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Which shop's selling this?
This is City Cycles, so just right up there on Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat. I mean, you can see this is the way of the future in the city for sure, getting around.
Oh, it sure helps if you have to ride like every day and it rains, and you got the light and stuff up here.
Definitely. Feels safe anyways. It felt solid.
Well, thank you so much. This was just spur of the moment, but Ace Integrated Systems, if you've got a fancy house and you want everything automated.
Yeah, even regular. We take all people's money.
What's the most popular thing you guys install or sell?
I think lighting automation takes it, you know.
Like you walk into a room, it turns the lights on?
Yeah, or like, you know, automatically turning on, turning off, different scenes for like entertaining. And
thank you so much, man. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Have a great day.
Take care.
Okay, guys, we're in a quieter neighborhood here. I want you to be able to hear that Active Line Plus motor. I'm going to be riding around in the highest level of assist, and we're starting on grass for just a moment. 63 tooth belt ring up front, 22 tooth in the rear. Again, it's completely taut. Like there's no derailleur. The belt doesn't go up and down or anything. It's just one fixed length, and this frame actually is custom built with a cutaway at the back in order to put the belt on and take it off, and that's part of the higher cost of this bike, along with the support through shops and the great warranty that Tern offers. Is really a quality product. Okay, so as I pedal along, just listen to how quickly it starts and stops. Listen to how loud it is, because it's, in my opinion, it's one of the quietest mid-drives around. It's very efficient. Very quiet, and the hydraulic disc brakes are just working so well. 160 in the rear, 180 up front, because as you stop, you know, weight kind of shifts forwards and it compresses that brake, and having a bigger surface area helps it to cool and gives you a mechanical advantage. It's almost overkill when you think about these 20-inch wheels versus 26 or 28 on a standard size bicycle. So it's working great. And so is the suspension. I'm gonna kind of tip you forward, maybe get a view of that. I saw a puddle just a little ways that way, so let's go through that, test those fenders. I'm pretty dry. They work pretty well. You know, they're extra wide and that mud flap and everything, and that's there in case you're pedaling forward and your leg is kind of here and maybe you kind of bump into that, or if you go over a curb. One of the things to keep in mind about this and a lot of these, you know, folding or mid-tail compact cargo bikes is that they do have a lower ground clearance, so it's a little bit easier to get like a curb strike or a log strike if you're taking this thing off-road. And one other thing I want to show you is just maxing out the RPM on this, right? So again, it only goes up to 105 versus 120 on the Performance Line motor. It fades out really smoothly, performed pretty decently. It's just not going to give you as much support. Like, let's say you're heading towards a hill and you're shifting down to climb, and then you start spinning faster because you're in a lower gear. There are times where I've done that and then had to downshift again because the motor wasn't keeping up with my higher pedal cadence. Not a huge deal, but I want to call that out because there is a difference between these two motors. Most people are just like, well, that one's more powerful. Yes, and it supports higher pedal cadence. So I was cruising along and I saw a gentleman with a GSD and he's got a couple of kids in tow. I think they're gonna be following us right here. He had his stereo jamming. He said, yeah, I like to do that for awareness. Just so people know, he had a couple of like a mirror. He has a bell, his daughter has a bell. And again, the GSD has the bigger tires, so a little bit better on gravel. The lights, he had like a flashing light. Dude, thank you. Look at this. Bye, guys. That is so much fun. Like, what a perfect example. Like, this guy's out taking his daughters for just a ride around the park. Oh, it's so cool, man. So there you go. This is the HSD for one passenger with suspension, or you got the GSD if you got some extra cargo and stuff. I think that's it, you guys. For the full written review on the HSD, including like all the details measured by hand, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com, and there's a cool compare tool, so you could look at the GSD versus the HSD or some of the other utility compact cargo bikes. I love you guys, doing my best out here, and I'll also try to answer your comments and stuff, or you can chime in at the forums. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Ride safe.